Hey there, friends. All right, we are testing out the new camera angle, exercising my vocal cords. I got the camera on this monitor, and I got the actual viewpoint on this monitor. So if I'm looking over here, it means I'm checking myself out, seeing how I'm presenting myself, seeing what the different artworks look like in my video. I think this is pretty good. It looks like we're gonna move that bookshelf just over a little bit, and I have a really nice view of my Libra dove painting with a Scorpio background. A little bit of Lakshmi there, dove, and then that giraffe geometry is kind of sitting on the floor. It needs to be presented properly. So where are we going to put that giraffe painting? That's one of the questions for today. Remember, the giraffe symbolism is to observe the elevated perspective while keeping your 4 feet on the ground, or at least 2. So that is head in the sky, feet on the earth. That is really looking at the big picture, meaning like, what are your goals and objectives? What is your 1 year plan, 5 year plan, 20-year plan, whatever kind of big picture architecture you're looking at in your life, and then simultaneously being grounded in the physical reality of the day-to-day tasks, the day-to-day actions that we need to take, taking care of our bodies, taking care of our our living spaces, our relationships, our finances, all this stuff that can kind of be like day to day, even like seem a little bit mundane, but we can't have our head in the clouds all the time. We do need to uh, focus our attention on this day to day maintenance. So giraffe geometry is about the synthesis of those two opposites. That is symbolism that I discovered after creating the art piece, which is a lot of times what happens when I make one of these things. I'll play around. I'll usually have an animal and then their native landscape in mind, and that gives me a color scheme to work with. As you can tell from my paintings, I don't go exact, but I take my inspiration from the color scheme that animal lives in, and also their physical coloration, and then I'll extrapolate that out to a broader color scheme, and even like move into the complementary colors or whatever inspiration I find from that beginning point. And same thing with the geometry. I'll generally do freestyle geometry that is inspired by the landscape and the feeling that I get from that animal. So it's very much an intuitive process. A lot of times, if you look at my work, like if you could take an X-ray to the art pieces that I've made, many of them, you would find there's sometimes even multiple paintings underneath a painting, or just multiple iterations of a painting, because I like to lay down some structure and then throw some chaos in there, lay down some more structure, and kind of do this like layered mosaic of like intuitive play and uh, sacred geometry. So that's what I'm throwing out there. The intention of these pieces is to be like a medicine piece. And when I say medicine, what I mean is that when people talk about spirit animal medicine, for instance, they're talking about what type of education, what kind of gain or healing can we experience from considering the traits of an animal. I think there's a lot of wisdom in this, and this is very much ancestral wisdom. Before we had so much input, so many distractions, so much going on in our lives, really all that we were observing was nature. And so animals were, one of the most interesting, one of the most entertaining things for us to observe, because they're what's moving around the most in nature, aside from the elements, which also obviously were super important, super interesting, aspects of how we are learning and understanding the world around us. So there's this sense of getting back to that true nature, and just understanding how much medicine, how much healing does actually come from making those connections, because it's deep in our roots, in our blood, in the very fiber of our being, is this soul connection, spirit connection with nature, and that includes all the animals and the plants and the geography, the movement of the elements, and all of these things. So this is like the driving force, the greatest inspiration of the artworks that I make, is that it all comes from that. And if I stray away from that, the work gets lost, and it doesn't get sold, and the piece doesn't get finished, and it's kind of like a broken message in a sense. Like you can look at it and you can get some type of feeling from it, but the transmission is confusing. There's distortion in the signal, and I think this is a good way to describe a lot of the transmissions, the signals that we're receiving and creating as a greater society right now. Like on the one hand, there's this deep desire to connect back to our roots and our ancestral pathways of living, and deep connection with nature and all this stuff. And on the other side, there's this whole new manifestation of lives that are almost entirely based in interaction with technology, and even lives that are not lived in what we consider to be like physical reality. I mean, obviously the digital world is also physical in a sense. It's just moving through a very different medium. And I'm not anti-technology in any way. I think these technologies that we're using are marvelous, incredible inventions, and they're, the power of which I'm using right now to transmit this message to you all the way across the world, perhaps wherever you are, transcending time and distance, and being able to translate this message to you from afar, which, the magic of this is not lost on me. So no way I want it to sound like I'm trying to denigrate these technologies at all, but more so doing an exploration of, how can we use this technology and be connected to our roots, our deep roots as physical human beings on the earth, inseparably tied to all of the nature that's around us. Because I think when technology goes bad, and when it becomes almost evil, is when it starts to take on this role of seeking to negate or overpower, or almost like make meaningless the nature of physical reality. It's like this idea of trying to transcend biological reality with with our intellects and with technology, is when it, in my opinion, goes too far, and we're flirting with that potential a lot these days. And again, there's this idea of so many people living lives that are almost entirely based on screen interactions with screens, and not interactions with actual human beings. And that's what, our souls and our bodies actually truly need that. It's part of our biological makeup. So yeah, my hope and prayer is that we can find a synthesis between these different aspects of our reality, as these different aspects of creation that we're existing in right now. Because I don't believe in a separation between, a true separation between man-made creation and nature. In a sense, it's like it's all nature. Like, is a beaver dam nature? Where do you draw the line? I guess for a lot of people, they think that if it's something synthetic, like literally man-made, then it starts to separate itself from the realm of nature. But it's like, well, where did we get all of the materials that we're using to create synthetic products? You know the answer. You know what I'm talking about. Nature. That's where it comes from. Nature, baby. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's getting to be about 11 minutes, 11 seconds, right as I looked at the time there. Could be starting to ramble a bit, so in the interest of holding your attention, or at least finishing this up in a succinct way, I'm just going to go ahead and end it there. That's all I'm going to have to say today. When you tune in next, you can count on it that bookshelf has been moved, and the camera view is going to be really nice. I might even put some lighting on my face here. This spot's a little nicer where I've moved my desk to, because I do get a little more natural light coming in on me, and I love that. But again, where is the separation between natural and artificial light? It's hard to say. It's okay. Sorry, don't want to go down that tangent again. I'm gonna rearrange this place, make it really nice, and my future videos are gonna be coming in through that lens, through that viewpoint, enhancing the experience for myself and for you, the viewer. So if you like this content, if you like what I'm talking about here, using my voice, I do appreciate it if you express those feelings by using your mouse clicker, and possibly even commenting or subscribing to my channel. All that stuff means a lot, and it does help me to reach you and to reach more people in the future. Just like magic, my friends, just like magic. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace and love, everybody.